cute. She got a ring light. Dang.
Because look, like it actually does. It's hard to look at though.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of a light to help with the my lighting.
Yeah, I've got one here, and that's what this shadow is coming from. But like,
is this really bright?
I guess it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
Can I have to burp?
Eight.
All right.
Hi, how was your day?
Dude.
What's the second one? What's the title? Unproblematic? Hell yeah. Yeah, pretty fucking about it. Yes.
T.
We are recording, but
I know, like we can't use any of that, but love it.
Yeah, so gotta love it. Me and my little sister might get tattoos this weekend. We're waiting on Patrick to get back to us.
Annie and I have matching tattoos.
Oh my god, me and my two sisters have matching tattoos, but me and my little sister would just be going to get additional. Not like the same one, but just at the same time.
Yeah. I've been getting the tattoo itch too. I think the next one I want to get two at the same time. Just knock it out.
Wait, what do you have now with your sister?
I have the moon and the stars on like my ankle. Oh my God, I would show you, but it's like a really weird, it's like the back of my, I mean, we could.
Yeah, I have one on the back of my ankle too. Oh my God, same position.
Stop it! Stop! No one has a tattoo here.
I'm obsessed with it.
Stop, I love.
I can't believe that we have
two and we're about to have a third.
Yep. If not a fourth, if you get the two at the time. If not, like, every single one of mine, except for that one.
Yeah. What's her name? The Kravitz. What's her first name?
Oh, Zoe.
That's the vibe.
I love her. I'm obsessed with her.
Micro tattoos like that. That's what I want. Like all over.
But like everywhere. That's like
so little.
Miley Cyrus kind of does that too. But Miley's are a little bit messy.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for messy.
No. Looking for cute, small, meaningful.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Just like little stories. That's what we're looking for. All right, are we ready to talk about mental health?
Are we? All right.
I don't know, but we're doing it, so
roll the intro music. Okay. Things are happening, and we're just we're going to take this time to acknowledge it because we're not really cool with ignoring a massive piece of our lives that's happening while we're just supposed to push it aside and do work that really doesn't feel like it matters because of the fucking world right now. And honestly, I'm pretty over people saying keep politics out of the workplace during one of the most important elections of our lives, because if the result of this election doesn't directly affect your life, then we're gonna need you to shut the fuck up and listen. Okay? This is a safe space, and we want you to create safe spaces as well. It's really okay to not be okay, and the more we say that, the better we can prepare ourselves to deal with not being okay. And you can't just keep putting it off because it builds and builds. And I love a good emotion repress, just as everyone else does, but we shouldn't do that right now. Bringing your whole self to work means that you can bring the good, and you should also bring the bad and be upfront about it. And I'm not saying that you need to shove your political opinion in people's faces or get in heated arguments with your coworkers, because that's specifically not going to help. But let's not hide that part of ourselves either.
It's really okay if 50% of you is at work right now and 15% of you is just dealing with what's going on in the world. And I think that there's so many times that we feel guilty. We give ourselves this guilt for, well, I'm not 100% committed at work right now. My brain is everywhere else. And it's pandemic and politics. And people love to laugh at in these unprecedented times, but guess what? They are unprecedented times. And it's our fucking problem. I feel sometimes I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm just supposed to package that up and stick it on a shelf next to my work from home setup. I don't think so. It's just not going to happen. And I think that we're really going through a lot of change, but that means that that uncomfortability and that being uncomfortable like that is just growth. And it sucks and it's hard. And but personally and professionally, we're changing so much. The whole face of our industry has changed in the last 9 months. And we're just supposed to like figure that out the next day and just be like, all right, this is how we work now. And like, this is how we go to work. That aspect, at least for me too, is I just like my work and my life now is just all the same. And I'm personally really struggling with just like, what does that mean? Like, how do I find a balance again? Like, how do I find a routine that I feel good about? And how do I show up at work when it feels like the world is ending?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been just about the weirdest time. And we have also found ourselves in like pretty tough circumstances in like regular life of like starting a new job in like a new environment, and then you can't see your coworkers in real life, and then also you can't leave your house, and then also you're afraid about your rights, but like all at the same time. And can you also still excel at your job that you're haven't been in the office to do?
And the thing is like some days I'm fine. I'm
Mm-hmm.
great. I'm dialed in. And other days it's the complete opposite where I'm like, how, and I think even that's a hard thing too, is how up and down and up and down, instead of it just being like, okay, like I haven't had just like an okay day. I've either had a really good day or a really bad day. And there's just like not really an in between. And I'm trying to find a way to feel like I can make it in between, because I can't necessarily control, obviously, what's going to happen in the world. None of us can.
Yeah, there are some days where I realize like I don't leave the house all day. Like yesterday I didn't leave my house. And so quick tip, don't don't do that. Um, find ways to leave the house every day. And I think also it was so easy to be in a routine when you were kind of forced into it, and now we kind of have to like remember that we're like responsible for our days and like responsible for how we structure it. And there are no outside forces dictating when we should and should not show up to an office, or like how we should spend our mornings or anything like that, because we don't have to commute, we don't have to go into the office. And I think I also end up uh, like coasting through the day, being able to do things that I need to do during the day. And I intake a lot of information, like external information, because I run social for our company. So like I check Twitter and then I see what's trending. Then I just internalize that real quick. And then later on it shows up in my subconscious. And I'm like, why can't I sleep through the night?
There's just so many times that I'm like, why am I killing myself? Why does this matter? And I have to remember, like, you have a job. Like, you have to do the job to make the money to have the apartment to do, like, but finding that motivation is really hard these days. Like, we're not saving the world in tech. Like,
No. That's my favorite thing to say, is like if a designer or like a deadline has to get pushed back or something and they're like, oh shit, like I'm so sorry. I'm like, this is B2B SaaS.
yeah, like it's
It
chill. Like,
doesn't, we made up that deadline.
right.
We don't even need to adhere to a deadline. Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Spoiler alert, everything is made up, not just deadlines. Like, it's all made up. And that's the fun part, is like you get to create those things. But when you're blocked mentally outside of work, like for me, it's really hard to push through and kind of just like, well, I have to sit down, because my brain doesn't work in a box. That's the worst part about creativity as your main job function, is like you can't force it.
Yeah.
And I think going into an office every day or 3 times a week or whatever, um, you're already feeling productive. It's that thing where like they tell you to make your bed every morning, because no matter what happens during your day, like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
And that's really good for our mental health. So like that gets the ball rolling. And when you don't have to get out of bed until your 8:30 meeting or whatever in the morning, and then you don't have to get dressed and you don't have to like do all of these things, it's really easy to slip into it. And it's a very big privilege for us, but it's at the same time, it's just like, is this really helping me or is it hurting me to like not get dressed every day?
What have you been doing to like kind of help with that, if anything at all? Like, yeah, wake up and make your bed, but like, is there anything that you do either during the day when you find that you're just like having, like you've made it to like like 1 p.m. and you're like, I haven't done anything today. Like, what do you do?
I do make my bed every day, mainly
Nice.
because I'm just like a
You gotta.
psycho.
On my week-long road trip where I slept in a van, I made my friend make the bed with me every day. I was like, sorry, we're not gonna have this be dirty.
Better. It just
Yeah.
feels better. And I think that taking that piece and knowing that about myself, like I'm not telling everybody to make their bed every day, but I know that it makes me feel better. So I'm just going to do that. But finding smaller things like that to keep doing. But it's hard because, and I posted about this on LinkedIn maybe a couple of weeks ago, it's just like all of my hobbies are productive in nature. For me personally, like I try to make myself some kind of breakfast every day instead of just like grabbing a protein bar or whatever. I started playing piano and I'll just like randomly do it during the day. I'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to, for 20 minutes, just going to like screw around on this. I don't even know. Like at this point, I'm just, all of my things that I like to do, I like to go hang out with my friends. I like to go to the bar. I like sports. I like all of these social things. And I think that that's the thing that I'm really struggling with is just like, I don't have a social life right now.
That makes me like itchy. Like I remember when it was like normal times and I hadn't done anything, if I hadn't had plans like for a few Fridays in a row or like a few Saturdays in a row, I'd get like itchy. I'd make my sister go out for dinner with me or something. I'd be like, I just need to like do something and like go somewhere that I haven't been before. Can you just come with me, please?
Yeah. And I think this remote work stuff is even compounding that even because I live alone for a reason. Like I like my alone time. I like having my own space, but it was with the caveat of you're going into the office every day and seeing somebody, you're seeing people, you're interacting with people. Now I'm not like, I have Zoom calls and stuff every day, but it's not the same where you're like physically interacting with somebody, like hugging them or whatever. Like it's been really hard. And like, I am not just going to ignore that it's been hard because for me, the best thing that I can do is say like, okay, this has been hard, but what are the things that you can do to kind of like start to dig yourself out of this?
Yeah, I think classic, like one thing that I've done to keep me like sane and also to help me sleep through the night is I'm hyperactive in nature anyway. And every 6 months I get obsessed with another like form of activity. So like when everything was closed, I ran a half marathon and I did like 100 workouts in 15 weeks or something like wacky, like that. But just so that I could like literally tire my body out so that when it was bedtime, like I just fell asleep. But I also belong to a small boxing gym that has reopened and has been really safe, and there hasn't been like a full class and they have mask mandates and everything like that. And it's just like the literal only time that my brain entirely shuts off is when I'm being active. Like my past managers have been like, well, have you tried meditation? Like, then I like, you have to like shut your brain off, you know, it's like better for you. And I'm like, when I shut my brain off, I'm moving. I need to go for a walk, or I need to go for a run, or I need to physically exert myself in a way that is extremely tiring, and I will like feel it better. And like, to be honest, sometimes you just need to like focus on moving, and that helps. And you know what? I'm gonna just say it because we're all friends here. No one's here. No one's gonna fucking narc on me. But sometimes you need enhancements of the recreational kind that are legal in your state. Okay, I went to liberal arts school. I don't know what you expected from me, but sometimes you need help going to bed. Or you need help relaxing.
If there's one thing 2020 brought us, it's that it's legal in Illinois and Massachusetts now. So one of the biggest things that I'm doing to change all this is like me and my best friend are moving in together because she also lives alone, and we're like, we just need somebody around. You're like probably one of the only other people that I could live with in my life. So I'm like, let's just figure out a way that like we can make this work. And there's so much unknown right now that we have to find things to look forward to. Like I've canceled so many trips and I could have taken the refund, but no, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take the miles and be able to push that off and like start planning something for the future, because it's like, we don't know when shit's going to go back to normal, but at some point it's going to go find some kind of normal. It won't be the same. I've given up on that.
Like I see a lot of like those fitness, like, what are they? Fitness influencers. And they're like, and so many people ask them like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? Like, you're not like, we're not motivated every single day to like get work done, like excel at our jobs, like do a side hustle and like also put a smile on our face because we're like happy to be here. It's like, it's discipline, and like you're not going to form a routine if you just have motivation. Like you need to like actually find the strength within yourself to do it. And like, I'm a very tough love person. Bridget is more on the compassionate side of things, side of the house. But it's just like, sometimes you just have to fucking do it. Like put on your like adult pants and like fucking do it. Like we're all adults here, but also like take the time that you need to do it. Like, I'm proud of you for doing it. Like, well done, pat on the back, get a gold star. We'll send you a cheese sticker, but like do it. Like you have to.
I just get really lazy, and I know, and I just get mad at myself about it because I'm just like, you know what's good for you. Like there's too much flexibility for me right now, and that's 100% on me. Like I have to rein it in, and at least I'm like self-aware enough to know that it's happening. Like I told you the other day, I looked around in my apartment and like my plants were dying, and I was like, when was the last time I watered my plants? Like, I'll find myself kind of like, with the flexibility, I started to go really strict. Like, you have to sit at this desk from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No, it doesn't work, because you just end up sitting there and worrying about other things that you have to do that day, or in your apartment, or in the world, or whatever. If there's other things on your mind, go do those other things, because when you come back, your brain won't be able to focus on what's in front of you, instead of sitting there pushing work off, doing nothing. Like sitting there doing nothing. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah, I think that's also that's like kind of the nice flexibility of working from home, because I love going into the office because I'm very outwardly motivated. I think it probably stems from the fact that I was the forgotten middle child. You know how there's like the problematic middle child or the forgotten middle child? I was not as problematic, and therefore outside reinforcement wasn't aplenty. So I probably look for that now in my adult life.
I'm a middle child too. Maybe that explains a lot.
Yeah, we're the same. But I was also like, I needed to sit at my desk and like do work because people were around me. And if I like got up for like an extended period of time, like people would probably notice. Or like I had to get into the office like before like X, Y, and Z person, so that they knew that I was like putting in the work, which is super unhealthy. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But it's been nice because now I can go to the 12:30 boxing class on Fridays, or at 12, like I can take an hour-long lunch. I never took hour-long lunches.
No, I used to eat at my desk.
Oh, all the time. That's what you do.
Sit here sometimes and I'll eat here. Don't stop eating at your desk.
You're going to be more productive during the times that you have to work than forcing work in during the times that you shouldn't be working. Okay?
Yes.
I'm saying that to myself too.
Yeah, say it to me, say it to yourself, get that tattooed on your body. Yeah, like I'm the same way, where I'm like, Bridget, just go do like your life stuff.
Like it used to stress me out to like have a doctor's appointment and like come in at 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's going to change in like the future of, we're in the growing pains of it right now, and we're feeling it out. And I said to my brother the other day, I was like, I was so routine and strict before, but it allowed me flexibility because I was that way. And now I'm so far the other direction that I'm just like trying to balance out, and it's just uncomfortable right now. Yeah. And like, you just have to say that. You just have to say, I'm fucking uncomfortable. This is not, but it's not forever. Like I trust myself and believe in myself enough to like get myself out of this. And I have a great support system and it's all that, but you have to start with being honest, and being honest about it is, hey, I don't have it today.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, that's fine. Because then you're going to have one of those days where you're like, I did like 4 days of work and it's 11:30 in the morning.
Yep. But you have to give yourself the day. Otherwise it just snowballs into these like passive days strung together. And then you're like, I forget how to even function.
Yeah. I think it's good that there are a lot of companies who are now like starting to put more attention onto things like this, where when we are working remote, they can't see us with our butts in our seats from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., depending on where you've worked in the past. And so there's starting to be more of an emphasis on, like, at least just communicate when you're not there. Like, change your Slack status, put it on, block your calendar. Like, even if you block your calendar and it says block, at least people who could potentially be looking for you and that causes you stress, they at least know that, like, you've blocked this time off for you to do whatever it is that you need to do. I think it's nice, and it's also, like, helpful. There's still, like, a lot that we could do, but when there's just, like, such a tumultuous time outside, and, like, this is going live on a very tumultuous day, like, there's no way I'm producing my best work this week. There is absolutely no chance. And, like, every meeting that I booked or accepted, like, I let people know. I'm like, I'm just gonna let you know, I'm, like, not gonna be here next week, like, mentally.
Yeah.
Like, it's no matter what.
I related to, like, the first year of college. Everything fucking changed when we went to college for the first year. Everybody almost flunked out the first semester of college.
Everyone, like, thought about transferring.
Give yourself some grace. Like, it's
yeah.
Why are we so hard on ourselves when it comes to this stuff?
But I think this is me going back to the tough love thing of just, like, if you're feeling shitty, like, you need to tell someone that you're feeling shitty, because otherwise people are going to look at you and be like, Sarah hasn't been reachable for a while and she's not telling me what's going on. Like, I don't know I don't know if she hates it here, or I don't know if there's, like, something external going on, or, like, if you need to tell people when things like that are happening, especially in a professional environment, if not also in your personal life, because people aren't mind readers. They don't know what you're thinking, and you could bring attitude to your meetings, or you could tell people what the fuck is going on. So, like, you also need to, you need to recognize that you're feeling something that's not normal. You don't have to pinpoint what that emotion is called, but then you need to tell someone about it, because if you're repressing it, then I'm mad at you, and now we're in a fight. Okay?
No, seriously. And that totally goes back to your manager can't read your brain. Like, that track record piece of, like, this isn't normal for Bridget. This isn't normal for Sarah. Like, something's going on. Wouldn't you rather just get it out in the open so that you can communicate about it? And chances are, like, your boss is going to care. Like, if they're a good boss, they're going to care.
If you're not in a good situation right now and you feel like you can't go to your boss and you can't tell them that you're feeling shitty, and you have PTO days, take a fucking PTO day. Take a sick day. You can be sick in your brain, so take a sick day. Like, they can't be mad at you when you're like, no, I don't feel well today.
Right.
There's a lot of pressure that goes into saying that and, like, telling people. Like, I would put a lot of pressure on myself, or be like, people are gonna hate me when I, like, take a sick day. But, like, sleep, reset, like, get yourself ready, like, take an extra 24 hours to get yourself ready for the next day, because otherwise you're going to be miserable.
You have to know yourself enough to catch yourself. Like, I think that's the biggest battle.
Yeah. I think we're also, like, talking about healthier ways to deal with this than I know a lot of other people potentially are dealing with this. Like, I know people who are affected by roommates or their own brains that just cope in a non-healthy way, where they can't recognize that they need to not cope in that way. And I think, like, this is kind of why I've been, like, hitting on the, like, tough love thing. Is just, like, it's no one else's responsibility but yours to, like, make yourself feel better, because no one else knows how to make you feel better.
If you are somebody like me, you said earlier, like, I'm very compassionate. I love my people. I know that I can't really help them if I'm not helping myself. If my cup is not full, like, I can't pour into anybody else. And there's times when I have to ignore those phone calls, or can't, it's funny because I've been saying this whole time, like, I miss people, but there's times when I'm like, I have to listen to myself here, and just, I don't have mental capacity to listen to somebody else's problems today. Like, I've got enough going on. But what that allows them to do is for them to solve their own problems, and for me to solve my own problem. When you do things that are good for you, you are proud of yourself. And that, like, everybody should be proud of themselves for getting up in the morning, especially right now.
And on the topic of wintertime, I also it gets cold in Boston, and like I went to school in upstate New York, and that we got like Midwest winter in upstate New York because your winds would just blow
It's
over
not
to
great.
us.
Sorry.
Thanks. But watch like a show where specifically winter happens and they're okay. For me, that's Gilmore Girls.
Oh, I love Gilmore
I
Girls.
love Gilmore Girls, and when winter happens, they're still living their life and they're still happy and they're still like doing things. And like that was a cool, fun little reminder when I was really sad in upstate New York, and also sometimes sad in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Like when I was not okay the like first year of college, and I
I
was so
wasn't
to my
okay for 3 out of the 4 years of
yeah, and I
college.
was so to myself about it because I was like, there's no way anybody else is feeling like this. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, this is such an opportunity, and like was angry at myself for feeling that way. And I look back on that time, and it just makes me sad because I'm like, everybody else was going through the same thing. Everybody was like,
And yeah, we just weren't aware enough to like talk to each other about it. Or if you could talk to your friends about it, like they're probably gonna
yeah,
be like your homies forever. That's
right.
my girl Sophie. We would watch Vines together sophomore year in our window seats, and like that was how we got through sophomore year.
Yeah. But see, that's beautiful. Like, why can't we just tap into that for this right now? Like,
Yeah.
why are we just like, I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall
No, but
sometimes.
also like shoot us your email and we'll send you memes. I'm not kidding. I'm
I'll,
not kidding. I'm dead serious.
yes.
We will
Follow us
send
on Twitter.
you.
We're going to just start posting memes now. Maybe we'll fucking start TikTok. Who knows?
Yeah, but if anything, we'll send you funny TikToks. Has anyone else seen Connor Wood's videos? Because we love
That's
him.
how Sarah and I like really started bonding, was over Connor Wood's TikTok videos.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a weird fucking time right now, and it's tumultuous, and it's really hard to sleep through the night, and it's really hard to get your work done during the day, and it's okay that you're feeling that way, but you have to tell people about it, and then you have to work on it, and then if it's really hard, you have to keep working on it, and if you need backup, Lorelai and Rory have got you from Gilmore Girls, and so do Sarah and Bridget.
Yeah. My last piece of advice is more for myself than anybody else, but hopefully somebody is listening out there. Like, I need to find a better way to live with intention and just start doing little things with intention, and it's all going to be fine because it matters. Like, find something that matters to you and just go do that.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like that I think it's classic us that you said that you want to live life with more intention. And I take a lot of yoga classes / do a lot of yoga because
Yeah.
it's a thing that I do with my dad. It's a cute little
But
bonding
before every
thing.
class, they say, like,
They
what's
say,
your
"What's your
intention for
intention?"
this class?
My very me thing though is I never knew what the fuck they were talking about. I was like, "What do you mean?" My intention for this class is to do this class. But I think
Yeah.
it's also like, okay, then your intention is to be here. Then fucking be
Right.
here.
Present.
Don't let your mind
Yeah.
wander. Like even shit like that for people who are I'm not always cynical, I promise. I do have positive thoughts and I really like people and things. But like when you're being cynical, like stop and then like think about what you actually said sarcastically because there's always some truth in sarcasm, so like go with that because that's what
Yeah.
you were thinking anyway. Just know that your friends / sisters, Sarah and Bridget, hey, we can be your middle sisters. Not your older ones because we haven't experienced that much, but not your younger ones because we're not that naive, but we're right there in the middle where we're there if you need anything. We're here to help. I kind of love that.
We got you. We got you. Follow us on Twitter for memes.
Follow us on Twitter for memes. DM us memes if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Like respond to the emails we send you. It's kind of cool that when you do.
Let's just like all get really close in this winter months. Like
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
community.
Let's send each other memes this winter.
Yeah.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye. All right, Sarah, what's in your fridge?
Just like a really big bag of like Mexican 4-blend cheese for quesadillas and chili.
Yes.
Me and Dan, that's my boyfriend's name. Mostly Dan made chili this week and I cleaned up afterwards. But I also got bread bowls from Panera because I sell them in pairs. And so did I get 6? Yes, I did. But we put our chili in bread bowls and it was just like we're on the ski mountain, except there's no snow and we're not on the ski mountain. But filling is fook.
Oh, yum.
And bread bowls. Hadn't had one in a bit.
Bread bowls are incredible.
Yeah.
Like whoever came up with that.
Genius.
Amazing.
What's in your fridge?
Parmesan, and I've been making a lot of like spicy rigatoni.
Oh, hell yes.
So good.
Tell me more about
Thank you,
that sauce that you put on. Can you tell me more about the sauce that you put on?
Yeah, it's amazing. You basically saute onions, a lot, like an obscene amount of onions, like chopped, and an obscene amount of olive oil. The base for every sauce.
Yes.
Salt, pepper, garlic, tomato paste. Let that like cook down. Add some vodka. Cook out the vodka. Add Parmesan and like cream. Like you can use coconut milk if you don't eat. I mean, I guess if you're eating Parmesan though, you're gonna eat dairy. But yeah, to each their own. Whatever you want. Some kind of cream, a little bit of pasta water, and then add the noodles in, and it is so good. The spicy part is red pepper chili flakes. Don't use a lot of those. I forget that when you cook them down, it gets really fucking spicy really fast. Very good. Like a really good comforting meal that's like takes 20 minutes to make, and it's fucking pasta and cheese.
I love pasta and cheese.